Hello, my name is Sara Secora, and I am the author of Throne of Lies, which is the first book in my young adult fantasy trilogy, Amethysta. This book is near and dear to my heart and took me 9 years. Well, that wasn't a consistent 9 years, but it was, on and off for a while. But 9 years ago is when I originated the idea, when I began writing, when the author dream blossomed. So today I thought I would share a chapter of my book with you. I'd be doing a little read. I'm just going to read the prologue, which is told in a third-person point of view from a mysterious character, while the rest of the book is actually in first person of Miss Amethysta right here. So let's take a little look inside. Inside the book, the very first page, of course, is the title page. And then next, we have a nice little illustration of Amethysta right there. And then, of course, we have the calendar, which, wow, making up a calendar system is quite ambitious and a headache. So I had a nice little image created for the front of the book to kind of explain my calendar system. And then here we have just a little tidbit, a little fantasy fairy tale feel. So on this page it says, "There are few wonders of the world, and this tale tells of none. This story is of a young princess that lives the seemingly dull life of a royal. But if you look just beyond the surface, you will uncover all that lies within the nebulous threads of her life. You'll discover that Amethysta, as they call her, is anything but ordinary. There's one particular matter that rings true as any other bell would, and it's the truth, that peril never shines so bright." That's kind of the tagline, one ring to rule them all, peril never shines so bright. That's my tagline. And of course we have the dedication page, which says, "Dedicated to those who wish to discover their one true self." Then we have a nice quote here that says, "And you, when will you begin that long journey into yourself?" Alright, so we are at the prologue, which starts at the 8th of August, 9:22 PR. Northwind's far-reaching forest was sheathed in an inky darkness. Most of the inhabitants were long at rest, for few dared to brave the forest past dusk. There were exceptions, the nocturnal who preferred the silent company of the stars, and those who were the danger others wished to avoid, the kind that lurked within the shadows. And with nightfall came an all-encompassing shadow. The trees were thick and the bramble abundant, the brisk air fragrant of earthy loom. Owls were perched above, hooting into the witching hour, as the wind howled along in an eerie tune. A figure sprinted with inconceivable quickness through the forest. His feet thundered, with each step punctuated by the branches snapping and leaves crunching in his wake. Glimmers of moonlight crept through the gaps in the treetops, and the light danced on his azure skin. He knew these woods were filled with wonders, preying on the unwary, so he stayed vigilant as he nimbly flashed past row after row of ancient oaks. The echo of men's laughter pervaded the woods, stopping him dead in his tracks. The sound was close by and coming from the north. His inquisitive nature drew him to the noise. As he crept forward, he caught a glimpse of the castle in the distance and was filled with a sense of unease. Prowling past the briar, he approached the source of sounds and cleared the hanging leaves to form a peephole before him. 6 men sat around, circling a roaring fire. Gray swirls of smoke billowed from the blaze and rose to mingle with the onyx sky. His eye was drawn to the glinting metal that hung from each man's hip. They wore tattered clothing and looked rough and disheveled. Common travelers would be more discreet, he thought. These men appeared to be at ease, openly inviting the unknown dangers into their camp. The realization dawned on him. These weren't just any men. They were bandits. "You should have seen the witch. Now that was a woman," said one man. He snickered before taking a long swallow from a tin cup. Liquid caught in his mustache and dribbled down his chin. "I like mine a little smaller, easier to throw around," another man declared, as he clinked cups with the man to his left. "As long as the price is right, I don't care what they look like." said a man with a grumbling, low voice that sounded like rocks grinding against each other. He studied the men intently, listening to their exchange. It had been some time since he was this close to their kind. He thought they were bizarre creatures, especially the one with the fuzzy lip. He touched his face and wondered why he didn't have fuzz. The wind shifted, and with closed eyes he inhaled deeply as the scent of cooked meat blew his way. He had stumbled upon their camp during his own hunt for food, and the aroma made his stomach rumble. An idea struck, and his eyes shot open as the mischievous smirk curled his lips. Bandits made their lives by thieving, he thought. Perhaps it was their turn to be robbed. He effortlessly leapt into a nearby tree, pausing for a heartbeat to ensure that they hadn't seen or heard him. They hadn't. The bandits were oblivious to their surroundings as they shoveled food into their gullets and with full mouths hollered to one another about their recent exploits. Pressing forward, he deftly made his way through the treetops and positioned himself directly over their camp. The rising heat of the campfire caused his brow to sweat. He extended his hand, palm downward, and aimed at the unsuspecting men. His hand ignited, sparking a radiant blue, and with a burst of light, the once animated men became still. Except for the crackling flames, the forest was now covered in a blanket of silence. The men looked like fleshy statues. Some of them had been petrified mid-chuckle, and others were a moment away from taking a bite or a sip. He hopped down from the tree with grace and landed in the middle of the frozen scene. He walked over to the meat hanging above the embers and took another whiff. For me, he shouldn't have, he said with a grin as he snatched the steaming rabbit and shoved it into his satchel. Exploring the campsite, he came across 2 bottles of ale. Popped the cork off the fuller bottle and took a swig. His eyes drifted closed as the murky amber liquid bit his tongue. Bittersweet flavors blended together, assaulted his palate, and rushed with fury down his throat. He hadn't had ale this satisfying in a long while. Now, how did a gang of putrid bandits such as you get your hands on something this exquisite? He said as he took another long swallow from the bottle. That's right. You stole it. He recorked the bottle and delicately planted it beside the rabbit. He noticed the bandits' coin purses as well, but did not take them. They were of no use to him. I thank you for your hospitality, gentlemen, he said sardonically with a dramatic bow. But if there are no objections, I really must be going. I've got a bountiful meal that beckons me, and I'd hate to keep it waiting. He twisted around with a wide grin, waiting for a reply that he knew he would not get. Very well then. I wish you all a good morrow. Ta-ta. As he turned to leave the camp, he had an impish thought and doubled back to take the half-eaten rabbit leg out of the hand of the fuzzy-lipped man, poised to take a bite. Oh, my apologies. Where are my manners? Smiling wickedly, he bent down, grabbed a hefty stone near his feet, and placed it in the man's waiting hand. He did not bother to remove the insects squirming around its base. Then he hopped back into the trees and aimed his glowing hand at the men once more, releasing them from his hold. He cringed upon hearing an immediate heavy crunch, followed by the savage scream and the roar of the other men's laughter. Where my rabbit go? The fuzzy-lipped man, now missing 3 teeth, said with a lisp. There was brief silence before the camp broke out in angry shouts as the bandits realized they had been robbed. The travelers smiled widely and victoriously moseyed on home, unnoticed, with his dinner. So that is the prologue, and it is told, as I said, in a third-person view, while the rest of the book is very much told in a first-person view. I hope you guys enjoyed that little bit, and maybe you could pick up the book for yourself and read the rest. The book is available on Amazon and Audible. It's available in paperback, ebook, as well as an audiobook. I'm always in need of new reviewers, specifically for Audible or for Amazon or even Goodreads. All of those places need more reviews. I'll leave links down in the description below so you can find it, and I hope you give my little story a chance. This is book 1, as I said. It's going to be a trilogy series. This book is really just setting up the world, the story, the characters. Not as action-packed as the other ones will be. The other ones will be very heavily action-packed, but still, I think this is a very good introduction to the idea that I have. So please give it a shot. I self-publish, so I do not have a publishing house helping me, marketing for me, doing this on my own. So your help is very appreciated. If you have any questions at all about my story, my characters, the writing process, anything, leave them in the comments down below and I will be responding to them personally. Thanks for watching. Take care.